We no are live. Welcome everyone to the 74th episode of Playtest This. Tonight we are featuring Kyle Sussenbach's Echoes of Sundering of the Sundering. I was trying to read it off the map book and I missed the
Oh, you're good.
of that's so tiny. Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us. Hi Kyle.
Glad to be here.
How the heck did you get here?
I think
Tell us about your journey and how you got here.
are you saying like literally in front of you or how I made echoes?
Well, yeah, how you became a game designer and
Sure,
yeah.
sure. I'll try to do my best. I started tinkering. Well, I mean, I like everyone else made my own copy of, Pokemon when I was 7 or whatever it was. I didn't really get into like actual game design until um, college. And Brian, I saw your HeroClick thing. I made a version of Descent that used HeroClix. And
Cool.
so it was do little minis on a map, cooperative fantasy, but used a lot of Descent stuff as well. So, and then around 2016, I started leading an online gaming community, and we started meeting up in person. About 15, eventually grew to about 35 people. Would
Nice.
come in, fly in from all over the country, even the world a little bit. And then I would, in order to have it be a little bit more than just like, hey, let's come out, hang out and play board games and video games, I would create these fantasy experiences. My parents live on about 130 acres.
Ooh,
And so we would do the whole thing as these like fantasy worlds. And every year I'd make a new storyline. They'd have quests and dice and like items and riddles and puzzles and stuff. And then eventually the guys were like, hey, you should do something with this. And so for a while I dreamed about like, could I do, if you know like Evermore Park, my goal was like, could I do Evermore Park? That's like a little Disney fantasy
yeah,
over in
that's
Utah.
awesome.
And so I tinkered with that a little bit, and then just life and getting married and job and stuff just made that not possible. One day maybe. So then yeah, just felt I always loved DMing for Dungeons and Dragons, but always felt like this is way too much work for just my crew to, to do. So
Cool.
I yeah started wanting to kind of tinkering, and so this is actually an iteration of a game has some of its roots like 9 years, 10 years in the making. And so every year I would have my group of guys come in, they would give me feedback and I would tweak it for the next year, do different mechanics, different
Cool.
um, iterations of it. And so here we are.
Cool.
Our company kind of started really in the last 3 or 4 years. Um, we published our first game last year. It was a tiny little micro game called Tic Tac Slash.
Sweet.
And we are fulfilling hopefully in the next month. Um, and then this one hopefully is going to in October. That's
Yeah.
optimistic, but that's the goal.
Cool, man. Well, welcome.
Yeah.
We also have a star-studded panel of playtesters tonight. Eric, who the heck are you and what are you doing here?
Well, if you have to ask that question, then it's not a star-studded panel. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, I'm Eric Ledger. I am a board game designer in my hobby life. In my day-to-day life, I am an attorney. I work for the government. As one might say it now, I don't know. And I'm working toward trying to get a game published eventually one of these days. But on the whole, I consider it more of a fun hobby. And my claim to fame in the board game local is I organize the Sacramento Board Game Designers Group Off Meetup. So if you're in the area of Sacramento, Northern California, feel free to join us.
Awesome.
Evan, are you in that area?
No, Portland.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the East
That's
Coast.
close enough. You could drive down for one or two.
West Coast Portland. Brian, who are you and what are you doing here?
Hi, I'm Brian Piccarillo with Umbrella Games. I'm trying to launch a Kickstarter called Fame and Fortune with an ampersand symbol in August. And I'm here because I don't know my limits and I like staying up past 2 a.m. and helping out other game creators. So I'm excited to see it.
Awesome. Right on, man. Well, it's always good to have you. Eric, always good to see you. I was telling him when he popped in that I'm always excited when he shows up unannounced, and I'm like, yes, Eric made it. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm Evan Halbert. Go buy After the Empire at least 47 copies. If you don't already own 40, then you
I
need
thought
several more.
I
And
thought
then
we were
over
into
the
the 50s at this point.
well, I don't know. Sometimes
All right.
you gotta move the target.
All right.
And then over the next few years, I have several more things coming out, and you should buy all of those, multiple copies of each one as well, because that's the right thing to do. Okay, let's get into it. Maybe we should wait just 1 second to make sure Brian's not being home invaded. Okay, there we go.
Yes. Nice.
Sorry, I had to get something.
Just don't cover it up. You
I mean, you
gotta.
can't see it.
I'll move it.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Put it next to the samurai sword.
Okay, go ahead and give us the teach. What are we role playing?
There's very light role play.
Or is it more of a tabletop game? Or
It is much more of a
game.
tabletop.
Cool.
If it helps you
Eric.
guys, if it helps you guys kind of get an idea, imagine Sleeping Gods and Arkham Horror had a fantasy baby.
Cool.
So it's a 1 to 5. This is Echoes of the Sundering, 1 to 5 player cooperative open world deck construction game. So we're doing a little bit of fighting, exploring some narrative stuff. And I do a lot of playtesting of the encounters, and I think we will get to one of those, but I actually want to see if you guys are cool with just diving right into the storybook.
Sure.
And going from there.
Yeah, let's see what you got for us.
Cool. So I'm gonna, if you're okay with it, I would rather teach as we go,
sure,
rather than doing just a. But we're basically doing choose your own adventure for a little bit until we get into an encounter.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So whoever wants to can go ahead and flip the storybook open to the first page.
I'll let somebody else do it. I'll mess it up.
Yeah, whoever is happy to read that out loud, or I can if needed.
The whole thing.
Evan, you're the trained actor. You're the trained actor.
Is everybody ready? Is this 0 or is it Uldor?
No, that is a 0. That is
It's
like
0.
location
Okay.
0.
Okay. Uldor. You have come to the Rooted Soul, the massive tree that stands on the border of the Anwen Valley. In response to a crisis, for years, poisonous fog has filled the valley, impairing all who dwell within it. Slowly but surely, it has expanded. Soon it will spread beyond Anwen and swallow up your home. Perhaps even the rest of the land. Time is running out. Something must be done to stop or slow the mist. The answer seems to lie in the ancient city that is housed on the Soul's branches. There, once a year, a renowned chieftain holds a competition called the Crucible, designed to test the mettle of warriors from all over Aureus. Should you win, you will be outfitted with equipment and granted vials of an elixir that can temporarily combat the effects of the mist. Some of you have a nearby hamlet or village you call home. Some of you have heard that there are great and ancient secrets hidden in the valley. Some of you long for a chance to prove your prowess. But all of you agree that the fog must be stopped before it poisons the world. Gain Arrival. Quest 1-1. Do we do that now? Cool.
You're on mute.
Who, me?
No, Kyle.
Okay, I was gonna, like, good, I just read a whole bunch.
The quests are over here if somebody wants to grab one of those.
All right,
That first one.
What do we do? What do we do with it? Like, put it in.
That is yours to keep. You're welcome to read it, but it's basically just a reminder saying, hey, yep, that's 1-1 arrival.
All right, let's see. We've come to the Rooted Soul to find a way to end the mist. 1-1 arrival. Do we leave it face up or look at the back?
You're welcome to look at the back. It's blank.
Right, I believe you. After I looked. Okay. You follow a long winding staircase up and around the trunk of the Rooted Soul. It ends at a gate of everglass. An ancient man with white hair bursting from his ears and a blindfold around his eyes smiles at your approach. Welcome, one and all, to Uldor. I am Karmarth, the city's analyst. Here I write down information about all who enter our city. Tell me, who are you? What is your story? Information on origins and backgrounds is listed below. Adventurers should choose one origin and one background and cannot choose the same origin or background as another adventurer. Once you've finished deciding, gain the cards listed. Origins.
So rather than reading through all 5, I'll just very quickly say there are dwarves, and then if you flip the page, that is humans, Ashwoken, Blue Elves, and Faithful. So right now, I would say kind of go with gut decision on kind of who you think looks coolest. There's 3 of you guys, so there's going to be 2 that are unchosen.
I'll do Blue Elf.
Okay. So Evan, if you'll take this one.
Into my hand?
Yeah, you're going to be putting it into your deck. So however you want to do it. And then 1 more for you, Eric.
Undaunted.
Take all of them.
I think you're supposed to pick one. Instead of stealing all of them.
You're muted, Eric, by the way.
Zoinks. I said I'll be human.
Okay, nice. I'll go ahead and grab these 2.
Thank you.
All right, and we can continue on.
All right. Next page. Backgrounds. I assume we'll do the same thing for backgrounds.
Similar, yeah. We've got the Acolyte, Performer, Highborn, Wildlander, Survivor, Outcast, Trader, and Folk Hero.
Let's see.
I will be Wildlander.
That one. So that just goes into your deck.
I think I'm an Acolyte.
This one right here. All right.
Okay.
Keep going.
All right. Next page. OI, or 0.1 maybe.
There you go.
Excellent, the analyst says. Yes, welcome one and all. Now please, share your fighting style so that I may record it for posterity. This will decide your base deck to start the game. If you'd rather pick from a list, you may do so below. If you want to be sorted, take the test on document 0.
Yeah, we won't do the test tonight, but
okay.
There is a sorting hat kind of test.
All right, or is that D0?
D0 for document 0.
All right. Your zeros are causing lots of legibility issues. In the back of the storybook, your class is depicted by the combination of 2 different colors. No 2 heroes may play the same class. Each color must be represented exactly twice. If you are playing with fewer than 5 adventures, see Rules Section 3.1. Once you have finished deciding, gain the cards listed with your choices and continue reading below the list.
So I'll explain basics here is that there are 5 colors. Red is attack, blue is defense, green is healing, purple is support, and yellow is tactics. So you're going to be picking 2 of those colors and smashing them up.
Purple-green.
Right.
Oh, I was going to do purple-green.
Do we have to follow the 2 color thing?
So nobody's going to be exactly the same, and all colors are going to be represented twice. As you see, there are 3 people, and so that means you're going to have 2 companions that are going to fill in the other colors.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll have red, yellow.
All right, so we've got red, yellow, purple, green. So I'll be blue.
Oh, I'm a shaman.
And I'll do blue-green.
Brian, here's your deck right here, and your class card goes right on top of right there. And then your cards are right here, Evan.
Okay.
And then your class
top
card.
of my deck.
Yes, those go right on top of your deck, and then the class card goes right there.
Cool.
And then you said what, Eric?
Blue-green.
Okay.
Physician.
Yeah, that's a typo. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll
I was like, I
we'll
thought
fix
I
that.
was a shaman.
We used to have this game set like 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
In like medieval, and so we turned it back and haven't updated everything quite yet.
It's all good.
Okay, so here's your deck, Eric, and your class card.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and set up the other companions as while y'all continue.
Should I go ahead and keep reading?
Yeah, you're good.
Marvelous. Thank you so much for this information and welcome to Uldo, the analyst exclaims. You'll want to visit the guard station to gather some equipment. Citrine, our priestess, can tell you more of the Crucible. The bazaar is a bustling place where visitors to Uldo spend most of their time, other than watching the fights in the arena. If you wish, you may also visit me in my home on the highest branch. Gain first steps, quest 1, 2. Is that this sucker? Okay, first steps.
And anytime you gain a quest that is along that same chain, so 1, 1, and then 1, 2, you actually remove 1, 1.
What do you mean remove?
You archive it.
Okay, what does that mean?
Take it back to the box, rip it up, however you want to, whatever you want to do with it. It needs to be away from your view.
Done. Okay. The analyst suggested that we get equipment at the guard station. End exploration and go to map A. You may now go to any of the numbered locations. I bet that's after we visit the guard station. I'm guessing.
What do you mean?
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. What do we do next?
Yeah, so here's the map that you guys are welcome to explore.
Oh, this is the map of the town. Okay, great. I thought we were like leaving town. I'm like, wait, we should stop by the guard station, please.
That's fair.
Okay, great. So you guys want to go to number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, or number 5, or number 6? But not number 7.
How about the maypole?
Okay. Let's see. That is number 3. We go to number 3.
Okay, so that's just in the storybook. You can kind of click forward until you find location 3.
Let's see. Okay. Arena. If you have the victor's quest, we do not. If supplied red square, I don't.
Red square means not marked, which is true.
Okay.
You don't, right now you guys don't have any triggers. That's our kind of way we keep track of things. So if y'all did have supplied marked, you would keep reading, but since you don't, you're actually going to just go right to
How
3
do we
points.
evaluate if we do or do not have supplied marked?
You would have a little journal which has a bunch of triggers in alphabetical order that you would check off a list.
But we do not currently have that journal.
You do not currently have that
Okay.
journal, no.
Okay, got it. If back on your feet, again, I also assume we are not that.
Right. So those. So since if supplied is not marked, then you're going to go to 3.2 because it's not marked. Does that make sense?
If it's not marked on the journal that we've never seen, then go to 3.2.
Yes.
And then just stop
Got it.
reading from there. Yeah,
You just
basically.
immediately go
Got
to
it.
3.2. Yep.
Okay, got it. 3.2. You make your way into the arena. There doesn't appear to be a fight going on at the moment. You overhear conversations as people mingle on the arena floor. Hope someone wins soon this year, because I can't take the waiting. I wonder if Alvost will be at the next test. Or will be at the next test. A guard bumps into you. You're here for the Crucible. She looks at you and nods knowingly. You've got that look about you. Make sure to gather some equipment from our station first. You won't be able to participate otherwise. Nobody wants to see you defeated unarmed. End exploration, go to map A.
So I'm guessing we need to go to the guard station first, right?
That's
Number
what it
1.
sounds
Yeah,
like.
we just don't know which one it is
Right.
Number 1.
from the map.
You think it's number 1?
It is number
It's
1. Well,
probably
because we flipped through the pages and I saw number 1 was the guard station.
That sounds like cheating. That
I
sounds
think we
like
should go
cheating.
to every other
I mean-
number but 1 first, just for posterity.
Guard station. If supplied, which is not checked, and I assume. Right?
Okay, that's correct. We're not supplied at all yet.
Okay. Because when you have this journal, everything begins in the unchecked state, I would assume.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So we are not. So if otherwise, continue.
And Evan or
Yes.
one of you, if you'd like, just to jot down where I can, any triggers we get, I'll like you'll see if we read down a little bit more where it says mark supplied.
Okay, cool.
Then you would check that, or you can just write in supplied.
Cool.
On a little piece of paper.
Cool. There's a friendly guard outside who beckons you over. You look like recent arrivals for the Crucible. Come in, come in. We've got some equipment you'll surely need for the fight in the arena. Go on, have a look. Each hero chooses items to fill both of their hand slots and gains 1 armor. These are suggested items for each color. Oh.
All right, so I'm going to
Assume
lay
you
out
pass
some.
those out.
Yep, doing those right now.
Sweet.
So, and they'll actually here, so all of those need to be flipped.
Is there one of each?
There is one of each, except that there are 2 shields. There are 2 daggers. They're slightly different. There are 3 of each of these. There's 2 different types of armor, and there's 3 of each.
So for like the wooden club, if I wanted it and Green wanted it, who would get it?
Whoever wins in an arm wrestle.
You can have it. I'll take a wooden staff and a mystic charm, please.
And so you can see Evan with the let's see if you did.
Ayo.
Look like Eric took the wooden staff.
What?
I got to it first.
Then
I don't care. Do you want?
Then I need the club.
I'll take the club if you want the staff.
Oh, yeah, I do want the staff. Oh,
All right.
look at that.
I take it.
So let me flip those for you. The side should be. Do you see there's a little icon with a person's head in it?
Yeah.
That is the icon side for companions. So if you're using it, you'll be using the other side, which is all these boards are old. So forgive me. It's really hard to import like custom chip board into. Good. So anyway, but yeah, you can actually put those. You see where your hand slots are. So if you use, so Eric, you actually wouldn't be able to use the shield and the wooden club because the wooden club uses 2 hands.
Yeah, that's why I grabbed the staff, Evan. I'm just kidding.
What did you say?
So same for you, Evan. If you're using a staff, do you see how there is the staff is unique and you can use it as a 1-hander or a 2-hander?
Okay. And then
if you have one thing that's 2-handed though, the other slot just doesn't do anything?
Yes.
Or can you swap?
Yeah. No, you can only, right now you're filling up your hands, so you can only pick one item if it's a 2-hander.
Can I then do that?
Yes, you can. Okay. You just won't have the 2-handed bonus for the wooden staff.
Yep. That's okay, but I would like to use the charm.
Cool. And then here's the armor as well that you guys can all grab one of. So Brian, if you want to pick one of those or do something else.
So can I only have one item then? Because everything that I can get is 2-handed.
So the daggers are 1-handed, the sling is 1-handed, the spear is 1-handed, and the shield.
Oh, I didn't see any. Sorry. I was just looking at the 2 colors for suggested stuff.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, those are, so you just pick one of those and then 1 armor if you want to go that way. Those are just suggested items that are like good for your class. And then these are the, looks like 1 more of you need the, Eric, if you'll grab an armor.
Oh, okay. I see now. Grab that.
Give us all of these. Cool.
Right.
So can I take another weapon?
So since you have a 2-handed weapon, no.
So how come Eric can do it?
Because he has, do you see how they are let me see actually. No, he can't either. I'm sorry. That wooden club, Eric, is a 2-handed weapon. So you need to fill up your hands. Right now you have 3 hands.
Wow. I don't like to brag. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. Wait, so what do I need to do? I'm sorry.
So that's that mace. You can use it, or you can use your shield with one of these 4 items.
You could grab a dagger or something instead. Or sling. Grab that dagger, man. Yeah.
Doing a spear.
Do a spear. Oh, spear's cool.
Sorry, Brian. Good catch.
I just want to make sure he's playing fairly.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Well, it's cooperative though.
That's what the thief always says. It's cooperative. Go ahead,
And
Chris.
then-
I'll take first watch.
So another thing you're going to be able to do is grab an item for your companions. So you have 2 companions. One of them is a purple yellow. That's Talon over here next to Eric. The other one is for.
That's the one that I want.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying that was the one. Go ahead.
Then just the other one is Fareth. He's red, blue, and so all colors are represented twice. And the idea here is that companions only use 1 item. We try to keep it a little more simple, but they're much more powerful. So the back side of the item card is the companion side, and so you guys can just grab 1 item for
give the big old club to somebody.
What was yellow purple good at?
A yellow purple would be support and tactics.
Big old club.
Wait, how do I know what color my companion is? Oh, the color of
I
the
think-
dice?
We
Well, it's
collectively have 2.
Yeah, and it's also, you can kind of tell by the color of the card itself. So Talon here is purple up top, yellow kind of in the bottom. All of those are themed around their colors.
Okay, yellow, purple.
I think we should give this person the bow.
All right, go ahead.
What do you guys have against the big old club? That's what I want to know. Big old
A
club.
simple wooden bow.
Well, that's all there is.
I want a
Well-
complex wooden bow.
Yeah, what? We don't you around here? Come on.
Okay.
Is that it? We have 1 companion? Oh, wait, what about this buddy over here?
This guy.
One,
Big old club. There we go.
all right, and that is all for items.
Cool.
All right, let's go kill some.
Gain Hopeful's quest and mark supplied. Okay, somebody mark supplied.
All right, I'm keeping notes. Supplied is marked.
Okay. Hopefuls, armed with weapons for the Crucible, we should head there when ready. Okay. Are we ready?
And Evan, for the sake of time, I'm actually going to ask you to go ahead and do you see where it says if hang around recommended?
If hang around, recommended. Go to 1-1.
I'm going to recommend you do that.
Okay, let's do it. 1-1. You hear a group of guards laughing and one calls to you. Hello, brave souls, he drawls. Care for a friendly game? Or perhaps you'd like to prepare for your fight in the arena? Seems a little belligerent. If game, go to 1-2. If prepare, go to 1-3. What do you guys want to do? Prepare or game?
I'm gonna try not to read 1-2 because it's right there. But I say, well, we don't have a whole lot of time to play test tonight, so let's just game. The hell with preparation.
Okay.
Preparation be damned.
If the goal is for play testing, let's do prepare. Do you see where it says recommended? So let's do the one.
Recommended. Okay.
Well, I don't see that because somebody's hand is in the way. I
Whoa,
don't know whose
boring.
it is.
All right. Okay. Let's go to 1. Let's go to 1.3.
All right, now I see it.
Next,
All right.
Next page. Whoever's their page turner. Okay, great. Because I could never figure out how to do it. Very good, says the guard, clapping you on the back. I'm Eric. I'll show you the ropes. Come on, give me your best. Begin Uldor guard encounter. Gain encounter cards 1, 1A through 1C and place encounter card 1 and 1A in the play area. This is 1B, 1A.
Oh, so let me give y'all come on card. Oh, I think one of them is
You flipped it. You flipped it over.
I know it's
What?
I think I did the back the wrong side. Let's see if that'll work. Oh, okay. All right. So this is our first encounter. Okay, so in an encounter, this is, the core of the game. This is probably about 75% of the game is, the encounters that we're doing. This is where you're playing your character in a fight. So for the guard tutorial, your objective is follow the guard's instructions. So if someone would go ahead and read that first thing.
All right, the guard calls out. I'll take it easy at first. Just try to get a few attacks on me as a warm-up. Okay.
So we got 4 damage, 3 speed, and then deal 6. So let me kind of go over overview of encounters, and we'll move on from there. So like any Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone, you have a deck, and you're going to have a hand of cards that you're playing each round. Our game, one thing that's a little unique is that it's kind of a simultaneous play. Everybody's communicating at the same time, figuring out like what do they want to play, how can they support each other, what do they need to do for the round in order to keep everybody alive and keep damage going out. So if everyone would go ahead and flip their deck over and shuffle it up, and then draw 5 cards. Your cards are going to be, let me explain a card real quick. So as you can see in this one right here, premeditation. There's different parts of the card, starting with the left part is this stamina cost. That's mana, stamina, energy, whatever you want to call it. We call it stamina in our game. And this one would cost you 2. So that is the core function of all cards in the game. They're pretty much all going to have a cost. Some of them are free. But that is going to be corresponding to these stats over here. So if we're looking on Evan's board, purple is stamina, red is health. If you die, if your health ever gets to 0, you die. Right now, everybody's starting out with 3 stamina because your recovery, which is below it, you see where it says +3, is going to be giving you +3 stamina every round.
My screen is being funny. It's like permanently zoomed.
Let me know if you want me to continue or pause for now.
I think maybe my. Oh no. Yeah, something happened where I can't. The tab, how that pops up a thing.
Like an alt.
Yeah, alt. Yes, it's like permanently popped up, and I can't manipulate anything else.
You want to try to restart, or?
Yeah, let me pop out and pop back in. Let's see if I can do that. I cannot do that. Might have to. It's really weird. Might have to. Okay. Top simulator. And I'll be back.
Of course.
There we go. Let's try that again. Sorry, everybody.
No worries.
Totally taking us out of the fight right now. Oh my
I know,
God.
I know. I'm the worst. Yeah, I don't know if that's my computer freezing or the server or what. Who knows?
I was so ready to just cower in the corner and heal people while Brian attacks.
Wait, okay, do we at least have one person that's an attacker? Because I'm not.
Yeah.
We have two, fortunately.
Okay, good. I'm also support. Oop, I can't spell. I can't spell. I'm back.
We good?
Yes, I can now see things.
Awesome.
And I can
Awesome.
manipulate things. Okay, I'm ready.
That was quick. Okay, so stamina is purple. And for the record, if your card, the stamina is red or yellow or blue, they're indistinguishable. They're all purple. That's just for aesthetics.
Okay.
It's always that number in the left side with the bubble.
Okay.
So so the green one is actually not in this iteration. Completely ignore this row of symbols and stuff. The two to the left, though, are very important. That is armor, block, and armor. So block is yellow, armor is blue, and that is the way that you're going to stay alive. So especially if you're a blue boy, Eric, this is important for you because armor is going to be reducing damage that you take. You're going to be generating armor each round, and that's going to be putting you up by 1 or 2 or 3. And sorry, actually, I forgot about this. This is an old board, but our maximum actually goes up to 5 now. So if you ever get up to 5, you can have an extra. However, you're only going to be reducing armor or reducing damage taken if you're being attacked. Just makes sense. So how do you get attacked? Well, our attack system is a kind of a threat bag system, kind of like Clank, if you're familiar with that. Where basically whenever you're doing certain abilities, especially attacks or big abilities, you're going to be putting one of your chips into the bag. And then during the enemy's turn, they're going to be pulling those chips out of the bag to determine who they attack. So in general, the monster, the guard in this example, is going to be angry at the attackers because they're attacking them. And so then it's the job of the healers to keep everybody alive and the tankers to generate armor while also getting attacks off of their DPS, their attackers and their healers. Is that making sense?
Is it fair to say that if you attack more often, you're going to get your chip pulled out more often and then be attacked more often?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. So you have to kind of be wary of that. So Eric, if let's say you have 2 armor and you generate 2 black as well, and Brian's chip is pulled, then you can use one of your block to redirect the attack going to him towards you instead.
Okay.
So you can hopefully see something of a synergy between armor and block, because if you have just block, that's great, but you're going to be taking just as much damage as Brian is. However, if you can get both of them, especially both of them pretty high, then it becomes great because you can take all the attacks and reduce the damage of all those attacks. Armor and block,
I got you, Brian.
making sense so far? Any questions?
I'll have to see it play out.
Okay. Okay. Just want to show you.
What's this card here?
So this card that I just pulled out here, right here, is an example of a card that is free. But if you notice there, it says you may only play this if you've attacked this round. Yep. And then that little square diamond is a threat token. So that is going to be your poker chip. So that would basically generate one of those tokens that you're going to be putting into the bag. And how we do it is you're actually going to play it into the play area on your turn. And you'll take one of your chips, just place it right on top of it. And then at the end of the round, or at the end of the hero's phase, you're going to be putting all of your chips into the bag. Cool. So a lot of things don't generate chips. Most cards besides red cards don't. There are some blue cards that do, and then there are expensive cards that do. But it's super important that you're kind of taking care and watching for your red guy to not get destroyed.
Where's the symbol that puts one of these on there?
That is the little square token next to the orange damage thing. Okay, so beginning of the round, I have reference cards. I can pull those in if that's helpful. At the beginning of the round, right now you should have 5 cards in your hands. The first round you don't draw or recover. but every other round you're going to be drawing one card, and then you're going to be gaining whatever your recovery is. So that's 3 stamina right now for everyone. And stamina works in such a way that if you don't spend it, you keep it. And so if you have 1 or 2 stamina left over and then you gain 3, you're going to be adding that to your pool. Clear?
It'll make sense when we actually do it.
Yeah, as clear as mud. But yeah, I agree with Evan. Once I
Okay.
see it.
As in, like, y'all want to just go ahead and dive in?
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
All right, I'm good with that. So
Just
to kind of explain then what the enemy is going to be doing. When you guys finish your hero phase, you guys are all going to go play. Whenever you're done, it's going to be doing 4 damage 3 times. So that's 4 damage right here, 3 times. Then at any point during the hero phase, if you guys deal 6 damage total, then you're going to flip this card and kind of move on, continue the encounter. Cool. So y'all are welcome to take it away. Let's see. I can pull some of that. Actually, I had. Here we go. Let's use this D20.
Cool.
Set that on. Kind of put it to the side, but bring it in once you do damage.
Okay. So what do we do?
Is that a question for me, or are you talking to your team?
For you.
okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Are we playing simultaneously or?
Yes.
Okay.
What is?
So I mean, sort of. It's a pseudo simultaneous. So you're not. You are technically okay. I'm going now. You're going, but it is all
talking it
communication
through.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then, was there a limit on how many cards we could play out of our hand?
Nope. You can play as long as you have stamina for it.
Okay.
If we
And then
don't if we don't do anything that comes after the bad guy, or there's no chips in the bag, who does it go after?
So right now there are 10 chips in the bag. If you guys drain it, then 2 more chips of every person is going to go back into the bag.
Okay, so there's 2 from each color in there already.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I
Okay.
should have said. Everybody has
Okay, I
7.
see. Okay.
There are 2 in there right now for everyone.
Okay.
Okay. So what do we do?
So
Well, I'm probably gonna go in and hit it. That's my thing. And I don't know how to use the cards in my. Do you get 1 card per round?
Nope. As many cards. Sorry, did you say get or play?
Yeah.
And then,
You can play
Yeah,
as many as you want, as long as you have stamina for it.
yeah, could you re-explain stamina one more time? How much? Where's the stamina cost in the card?
That is the left side, middle, the big bubble with the number in it.
Bubble. And what's the difference between the colors of the stamina cost?
There is no difference.
Okay.
That is just purely aesthetic. One other thing to notice on the right side of this card is a little discard symbol. So if you ever don't like that card or feel like you're running low on something, you can discard it and gain whatever that is. So for example, if I discarded Devastate, I would get 1 stamina.
That little purple guy's a stamina.
Exactly.
Okay.
What's the spiral?
The spiral is a minus speed. So it's the same icon. If you can see that here and here. So this is -1.
That's bad for the monster.
Yes, it reduces its
1 less time.
Exactly.
All right. I'm
Speed is how
gonna
many
attack.
targets it has.
Yeah.
Yes, that's how many times it's going to pull from the threat bag.
Okay.
I think that's my best card is attacking for 1, getting a shield, and playing in shit.
Granting 4 hearts. Is there like a maximum health, or that's always good?
Yeah, right now your maximum is 15. Everybody's at 15. Everybody's full. Nobody's taking any damage.
We're adding the 2 together.
Yep.
Okay.
That's another thing we've changed. We've gone to a dial system, but for now,
Okay.
it's all
So that's not useful right now.
And when do we regenerate stamina? I guess after we play our cards and we resolve them, then he'll attack us. Then we get +3 stamina.
Exactly.
Okay.
I have only 1 card that is useful right now, so I'll do that.
So Evan, Eric, let me show you. So this is you over here. So go ahead and reduce your stamina from 3 down to 1.
Right.
And then go ahead and increase your armor from 0 to 1. And then go ahead and put this die over here saying you've done 1 damage to the guy.
Where was the die?
Just right here.
Oh. So there you go. Yeah, it's set to 1.
Should dash.
So if I did damage, I would rotate that die up to whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It's the easiest way to do it through Tabletop Simulator.
So I have something that gives me and other people +1 damage on their next attack round, this round. So if I played that, then it wouldn't really help Eric unless he played another card that did damage because it's too late. Or does it apply retroactively to this one?
So we have a rule within our game that as long as you haven't learned new information, you can rewind it back. But you wouldn't be able to have done it if like you gave him stamina to be able to do that thing. So yes, you could play that and apply it to that.
Okay.
Especially since you're learning.
And when we die, are we out?
Yes, you're out.
Not if
And
I'm
then
around.
Evan, don't forget you have a companion over here as well that also has 3 stamina and some stuff that he could do.
Oh, am I in charge of that guy?
You don't have to be if somebody else
Okay.
wants to claim them.
Gabby's
Or-
over there with
Yeah.
you, so
Okay, this looks different than my other stuff. So
Yes,
What's
so these
going
are
on
his.
over here?
He's much simplified. So instead of all his cards and stuff, he just has 4 abilities.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
okay.
They have a stamina cost right there. So right now you could do, say, the provoking strike. It would do 2 damage. It would get him 1 block, and it would generate 1 threat or 1 threat token.
Oh, can I also bolster an ally?
Potentially, as long as you have the stamina for it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. Who'd like to gain 2 stamina? Brian or Evan?
yeah, I think
I
me.
assume that's good.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Go ahead. I bolstered you.
So-
And then do I just mark that like that?
Yes, exactly, Eric. Good job.
All right.
So now
And then-
his stamina is going to go from 3 down to 2.
and so
Oh, okay.
Stamina.
And then
not this
how does-
thing. Stamina's this thing.
This is the current stamina. This is the regeneration of stamina per
Okay.
round.
Okay.
how does this guy regenerate stamina?
Same exact way as you do. He always gets 3.
Okay.
When you bolstered me, I moved my stamina up too. Is that right?
Yep, that's true.
Okay.
And then let's see. What is this little one right here on sidestep?
That is, so it says grant 1 block and 1.
Oh, I get a
So
card.
someone can draw 1 card. Yeah, and grant is
Alright.
to anyone, including yourself. Gain is only yourself. And then if it'll say specifically grant to an ally if it's only for an ally.
All right.
what are-
Evan, you get. Go ahead.
What are the symbols in the right hand side of the card in the where the opposite of stamina?
I think that's a discard.
That's a discard. Yep. Discard.
So if I
effect.
discard the card, I get that thing.
Yes.
Okay. Alright.
Do our little buddies not have any shields?
Do you mean that they have like armor and block?
Yeah.
That's the blue and the yellow die. I just have that for them.
Blue and
Alright.
yellow.
Evan, did you see that I granted you a shield and a card?
Both of our dice are blue.
I'm sorry. What are you referring to?
These are both blue.
Do you want me to
Oh,
turn both of them
interesting.
yellow?
Sure. Yeah, on my screen it's yellow. I'm not sure
Okay,
what's going on.
great. I will
Sorry
make
about
that yellow.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this one and this one for 5 stamina. So this one's a chit. It's +1 damage, 1 shield. And then the other one's everyone else who's attacking gets +1 damage on their attack.
Does that say for next round though?
For this round, any attack this round.
Is there a difference?
And I'm assuming it includes myself.
Is there a difference between a hero and an ally?
Hero is all 5 of you. Ally is everybody but yourself.
So I think this says I would
Alright.
deal 2 damage and gain 1 shield, and then that would retroactively mean Eric does another damage.
Yeah. So I'll
Yes.
move that to 2.
Then I'm bump it up to 4.
And Evan, I just want to confirm, just because I didn't hear, I granted you the shield and the card draw. Did you do that?
No, what do I do?
You get +1 on your shield,
So I move this
and
up
then
to
you get
3.
to, and you get to draw an extra card.
Okay.
Evan noticed that you played Reinforce, which grants an ally 3 armor. Who did you give that to?
I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
Um,
And then you have, looks like you have 3 block.
what's that?
How did you get 3 block?
I don't
Well,
know.
I granted him
I
1.
don't know what you're saying.
Okay, sorry, this
Sorry?
this yellow one.
Okay, what about the yellow one?
You have 3, right?
It was on 2, and Eric told me to add 1, and I added 1.
Okay, sorry.
So it should have
Maybe.
started at 0.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
My bad.
Does that mean, is this one in the wrong spot too?
Nope, that's perfect.
That's
All of them
fast.
should start at +3.
Oh, they're all supposed to be a +3?
Just
All the
for your
purple ones.
your regeneration or your recovery is what it's called.
Okay.
And then I
Alright.
gain 1 shield and go down. I add another shield to mine because of this one.
Mhm.
So I can't play anything else.
Evan, can you retcon? Is there any way you can hit him for 1? Because if you hit him for 1, then we're gonna hit for 2 because of Brian's extra card, and then
No.
we can flip this card over.
No.
You picked the wrong character. That's
I
Can
can,
you discard whenever you want?
I
Yes,
can,
during your hero turn.
I can
So you-
spend
You
1.
could discard your hand and then just draw that many more cards.
Oh no.
If that's the symbol. Then hope you draw into an
I
attack
could
card.
not play Reinforce. I could spend 1 to draw a card with my linen garment. Should I do that?
Don't forget you also have Fareth, your red blue character. Was not gone yet.
We also have somebody over here who can go. Who can? I guess attacking is the correct thing. Let's see. Shield Bash doesn't actually deal any damage. Charge deals a bunch of damage. But we don't need that. So how about we have Fareth do the provoking strikes? Does that sound right?
Yeah, I did that.
What does attack contain 3 to 4?
So attack, contain are the keywords. Those are referenced in other ways. So for example, the card that Brian played specifically says all heroes deal +1 on their next attack.
Oh,
So provoking strike would count for that.
I see. Okay.
And then contain is a different keyword.
So he's gonna spend 2 things, right?
Yeah, 2 the purple die.
Is that what that is? That's the purple die? Okay.
Yep.
And then he does 3 damage and has a chip that he puts in the bag.
Yes. And here, let me give you these.
Over here.
Oh, they're there. Perfect. Thank you. Like, I know I made them.
Now, can you explain in the bag and on top of the bag and how they're different?
Yes. So in the bag means it's going to be a random pick, but on top of the bag means it's going to be the next chip pulled.
Okay.
So it's kind of a guaranteed. It's kind of like top decking.
It's like, but if I put one there on purpose, it would be to like taunt.
Exactly.
Okay.
So did somebody put a chip in the bag?
I don't think anyone has yet.
Yeah, so you can just
Yeah.
kind of put this on him for now, and then once everybody's done, we'll put all the ones in.
Okay, and then he needs a yellow 1. Is that pipping up this die by 1?
Yeah, and so that die, I mean, there's no 0 on there, so that is just 1.
Oh, what's the blue one at?
Also 0.
Okay, I'll set that over there. This one's actually at 1.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Okay, so he did 3 damage. So we move that up to 7. Right?
Yep.
Okay. And then we flip it?
Let's do it.
Or does he do his damage at some point?
He would if you guys, so the flip the card is going to trigger first.
Okay.
The damage on the card only triggers during the enemy phase, and y'all have not gotten to an enemy phase yet.
Okay, well done. Next, I want you to focus on blocking my attacks, reducing the damage I deal. How might one of you be able to take 3 of my strikes? One hero must receive all 3 attacks and survive the round. Then draw 1B and discard this card.
Okay.
So someone has to take 21 damage.
Mm-hmm.
So
All right.
I was
So now do we
planning
regenerate?
to cast this reinforce thing, which gives 3 blue armor thing. Does that do what we want it to do?
Did we finish the first thing already?
Y'all are still in the hero phase.
Okay.
So the enemy phase is not.
All right. Here, can I take let me take the armor, Evan. Can you give it to me?
Yeah, of course.
That'll bring me up to 4.
Okay, so that's all my boop, boop, boop. It's all my stamina.
Wait, have we regenerated our stamina?
No. Y'all have not started a new turn yet.
Oh,
A new round yet.
all right. Oh, I was thinking I could taunt him over here. Let's see.
So Evan,
Once per round,
did you cast reinforce
Yes,
on who?
on Eric.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I think
I
Eric
attacked.
should take the hit.
Yeah. Hold on. I get to do that and then take that, so I can direct by using my spear because I attacked. When you attack, I can spend 1 stamina to gain 1 block. Okay, so then that'll let me
Yes, and
redirect
just
the hit.
yes, it'll let you redirect 1. Just to
Yep.
make sure that's clear. Cool.
And then can Fareth use his fancy club to reduce the number of times he is going to hit?
Absolutely.
How do we signify that it's used?
You can tap it if you want to, or however you want to do it.
Okay. Cool. And then how do we signify that on here?
So now you only have to take 14.
There you go.
You do? Cool.
And you can take you can use your hide wraps to discard a card and take less 2 also.
Did this little buddy already
Yeah.
do something?
I don't think so.
Okay, somebody else run that one.
I also defended this round, so I could also use my hide shield as well. So I received -1 for the first attack if I defended this round. Once per round, when you are attacked, you may discard 1 to receive -2. All right, so I'm going to do that as well. All right, I'm going to discard that card.
Is Talon's ability for clever tactics, we can all choose a different support, or we have to choose the same one?
You all pick. So
Separate.
you separately, yes, sorry.
All right.
Did we use her, Eric?
Yeah, I used these powers over here.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I've done the best I can. I've got 4 shield, and then my first attack is at -3 as well through my abilities or my equipment.
Does this shield bash on Fareth? Because he still could use that. Does that give stuff to other people or only to himself?
That's only to himself.
Oh, and is this +1 heart mean I actually have 16 health instead of 15?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Oh.
And to clarify, you didn't have to discard that card yet, Eric. You can preempt it, but you actually haven't been attacked yet. So
Well, I know. I'm anticipating it.
you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, you got the block, so you're going to guarantee it.
All right. All right, bring it on. What you got?
All right. So do y'all know how to? So y'all are ending this. So go ahead and move all of your tokens into the bag that you used this round.
Okay.
When
Looks
does
like
he take the damage though?
He has it on him right now. He's already taken 7 damage.
Oh, so should we move his little health?
No, I blocked.
Oh, I'm
it all.
sorry. You're talking about. I thought you were talking about the guard. You're talking about Eric. Eric is not taking damage yet. Y'all have not pulled any tokens.
Yeah.
Isn't he getting hit by this though?
Not yet. We have not pulled any tokens yet.
Oh, we're not deciding who he hits.
No, that's from the threat bag. So
All right.
So we just
But
hand
it's
the
fine
hell out of
because
Eric, but it might not be him.
I can redirect it because I've got one what do you call that?
what?
Oh,
Shield.
wait.
I've got one shield and
Based on the text, we actually can't reduce how many times he hits you, or we never get to move on.
I'm not reducing the number of times he hits me. I'm redirecting it to me.
No, but this guy, we need to not do that.
Because we're supposed to take all 3 hits.
Because you must receive all 3 attacks and survive the round. Otherwise, we do not continue. So, don't.
I guess we
And
can
for the record, you don't have to advance this round. I know you would probably like to, but
I assume that's the goal, though, right?
it is. But there's no consequence for, like, there's not a specific goal of doing everything one round after another. Like, you could do one more round to prepare for that coming up. One thing to notice: the card you discarded, Eric, actually would give you
It would what?
would give you a block. Do you see in the right side?
Yeah,
There's
I noticed that, and I also noticed that I can gain 2. I get to gain 2 from that card that I didn't take.
yes.
So I can actually now use that card. I was looking at that right then and there.
Well, sorry, that is for Telon, not for you.
What? Never mind. So I don't, well, the problem with playing that card is I have 0 stamina.
So discard of cards cost nothing. You just discard them right out of your hand.
Yeah.
So it would just give you another block to put you up to 2.
Oh, so I just discard a card to.
Yep. No, not any
So I'm
card.
discarding it.
The card that has the block symbol.
And what does it give me?
1 block.
All right. I'm up to 2. And why not? Let's make it official. There's another one.
Bam, bam.
And I'm up to 3.
Exactly. There you go.
All right. Now we're ready.
Okay.
Right. So now can y'all go ahead and move? Just see, Brian, you have a chip. If you'll put that in the bag. All right, I think that is all of them. And so if you guys want to shuffle that up or pull that, I don't know if that automatically shuffles, but And you just pull those out 3 times for the 3 attacks. And also sorry, we'll do it, sorry, one at a time. I apologize. So first one up is blue. That's going to Brian.
All right, I'm redirecting it to me, and so this goes down to 2,
Exactly.
and I'm discarding my 1 card. I got to use my shield and that power and 4 block, so I take no damage, right?
Yep, perfect. And then you'll
Bring it
draw
on.
another.
I totally didn't follow what just happened, but hopefully it sounded like it was good.
It was green, but then the bag's now
All right.
set to draw randomly, so that's why
I'm
it's not green anymore.
I'm redirecting it back to me again. Again, I've got 4 shields, 7 damage, so I'm going to take 3. 1, 2, 3. Bring it on. Green, redirecting to me, again, taking 3 damage. And we finish that task.
There you go. You guys can go ahead and discard the cards in your play area as well and put those tokens back to their owner. Not sure why those discards are rotated. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you probably have
The snap is not right.
the snap is rotated. So Eric, you have some kind of ability that makes the person attack you, is that right?
We're using our yellow shields to do
Yeah,
that.
the yellow shield allows you to redirect an attack to you.
Oh, okay, great.
Kind of like you jump in front or put your shield up in front of them or something.
Okay.
All right,
So-
what did you say we were doing? We're shuffling our deck back together or what?
Nope. So I'm going to just put the gray one over here and put the blue one right here. And then you can go and
Okay.
read the card.
It is
I'm looking for 1B.
draw 1.
1B is right
discard
underneath it.
this card.
I'll take that.
Excellent. In the heat of battle, you may find it best to alternate who's guarding the party. This gives each hero a breather. Next, you should practice your healing. Once both blue heroes are at full health, flip this card. Which heroes are blue?
I am full health. So is the other blue
Yeah.
person.
So Brian,
I
you are
thought I'm
yellow
up.
red.
Oh, I'm the other
Yeah,
one.
I'm blue. Dabba-dee dabba-da.
Who else is blue? Abadi Abada.
I am.
Fareth.
Dabba-dee dabba-da.
So
Yeah,
you
so I've got to
and
heal.
Fareth. Now healing happens to be my specialty.
Bring it on. I need
Okay, this is the end of the
1, 2,
round.
3.
So everyone's going to go ahead and gain their recovery. Stamina equal to the recovery.
So
All
That should be
right,
plus
so-
3 for all of you. And then any block or armor is going to get reset to 0.
Oh, really? Okay.
And you're going to draw 1 card.
And we're going to draw 1 card.
Oh, we draw 1.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm assuming that these get reset so I can use them again, right?
You can pull off 1 of these.
Ah,
So they're also drawing 1 card.
okay. Actually, I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do that one.
What triggered the end of the round?
You pulled all 3 of his tokens. So that is the end of the round. Once the enemy is done, you kind of clean up everything else and you're good to go to the next phase, the next round. Does that make sense? Brian?
That happened before this card we're reading then?
Yeah, simultaneously. The condition on that card was survive that round. And you did, and so then you flip it. Does that make sense?
When you say it, yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
For me, the part that was just slightly confusing is I figured once we finished the front side of the card, it would be a regenerative event, and then we would go and do the back side.
So what are you referring
No,
to, Eric? I'm sorry.
that was. Oh no. So the last card that we did the front side without the enemy being able to attack.
Yes.
So we just killed the front side. Intuitively, it felt like that should have been all right. Now we regenerate, and then we start the backside event. I think that's what confused me just a little bit. But
Sure. Those are very specific kind of triggers on when those need to happen and when they trigger.
All right. So let's get to talking.
So what's happening?
I'm going to grant myself. I'm going to bolster. That's going to cost me.
Are we starting another round?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
When we need to focus on healing me up.
So we have to get you to full health, which is how many health do you need to gain?
Yeah. 7.
Okay, let me see what I got.
I am going to be able to grant. I can grant myself 3.
Okay.
When it says full health, is that 15 or is that 15 plus his 1?
Be 15 plus his whatever bonuses he would have.
Why don't you?
Okay.
1, 2, 3, and then my recovery stamina now is +4.
See if I can help you.
How many more do you need to gain?
I need to gain 4 more.
Okay, I can do that.
What's the fan looking symbol?
Sorry, can you show that to me? That is an ability. So do you see on where it says momentum and then keep going to the right where there's a little fan, that same thing?
Okay. Yes.
So like 90% of cards are abilities. There are 3 different types of cards. If you want, I can go into detail.
So if I paid 4, if I had it, I could let Eric do this again.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I
don't
can
have 4
I can
those.
just
Sorry, dude.
I can just give you 4 health.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, that's what that says.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to use this. So that's going to go down to 3. Every hero, and that's going to cost 1 ship. So where do I put that? Just right here, I guess.
That's fine.
Everybody can either take a card, gain 1 shield, or gain 1 block.
Drawing a card.
Yeah, I need cards, so I'm grabbing a card as well.
Eric, did you hear that I gave you 4 health?
I heard it now.
Great.
All right, I'm at full health.
Great.
I think your full health is 16, right, Eric?
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
You're good.
All right, I only needed 3 health.
Oh, well,
My
then
apologies.
I'm casting a different spell then. In that case, I'm casting this spell. Because it gives me an extra recovery, which stays from round to round?
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you get to move up on that track.
Instead of casting this, but I only had 3, and I need 4, so I have to discard something. I'm going to discard this one. Pretty.
Out of curiosity, now that Evan and I are at +4 recovery, does that transfer over to our both ourselves and our ally?
No, the companion has its own thing. For now, they're just at +3 for the whole fight. They cannot go up
All right.
like you can.
Just checking.
Yep.
All right, so we finished this card, right? We're ready to flip it.
I think so.
All right, I'm gonna flip the card. We're on to 1C.
Incredible.
That's
The card holds up. Oh, So not 31.
It should be the back of 1B, not 1C. So that is 1B that y'all are just on. So just pull that up and flip it.
There we go.
Is this the correct one? I can see.
Mhm.
I can
Yeah.
see that Ulrian guides you. Our next lesson is in hindering your opponent. While you can't render your enemy helpless, you can make them much less of a threat. Bring the guard's speed down 1 for a round. Down to 1. Then draw the thing and discard this one. Okay. So we need to bring it down to 1.
How do we bring his speed down?
Are we still in the same round?
Yep, still in the same round.
So Fareth can now use this thing.
I can reduce its speed by 1
That's all we need.
if I get 1 more stamina.
You can discard a card for a stamina.
I can discard one of these. Yes, okay. I will discard this one. And play this one. So I put a chip down. I reduce its speed by 1. I'm guessing that's what that means. It
Mhm.
doesn't like. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna pull 3 things out of the bag, put 1 in the bag, 1 on the bag, and give 1 back to somebody else. So.
What is on the bag again?
So on the bag is like we choose, and when it takes the next one out of the bag, it takes the one on the bag first.
Okay.
So we can like pick who it's gonna go after next in that way.
Obviously, it's attacking Eric next.
I think.
No.
Yeah. How's your white guy doing? Fareth.
I think he's doing fine.
Okay. I'm gonna put his back in the bag.
Okay.
I'm gonna take mine back, and then I'm gonna put Eric's on top of the bag.
That's what you get.
Oh,
Hey, you're at full health. You'll be all right.
And
I'm not full. I just
can't-
got healed back.
I can't do that, so I'm gonna put it right.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Okay.
And this one
so-
should say at the end of the round. I just wrote that down. It's just a typo I need to fix.
What?
Okay.
For the bring the guard speed down to 1 for a round, that'll just need to say then at the end of the round, like once you finish the enemy phase.
Oh, okay. So he's down.
I brought it to 2.
Well, no, we brought it. He was already at 2, so you brought it to 1.
Oh, cool. Oh, you did that club thing.
Yeah, the club thing did it.
Okay.
So now it's at 1, but that doesn't happen yet.
As soon as you guys end your hero phase.
I'm done with my stuff.
I have nothing left to be able to do.
Evan, anything
Huh?
for you to do, or is the guard going?
I could do things, but I don't think I need to.
All right then. Heroes are done.
Cool.
Who's getting attacked first?
So
Is you?
I
The-
wonder.
at the end of the phase, at the end of the hero phase, go ahead and put chips in the bag, put cards in the discard. And then you can draw that yellow one that's on top.
Hey, he attacks Eric.
All right, what's he attacking for?
7.
7.
But only once.
Oh, I'm down to 9 health.
Oh, we should have. Was I supposed to bring his stamina up by 3?
Yeah, the beginning of the, if you want to go and do the beginning of the round, everybody's stamina goes up by 3 and 4 if you did play a focus, draw a card.
4 with what?
You played a focus last time, Evan?
Oh,
So your recovery is at 4 now, not just +3.
yeah. So everybody's gaining 3. 4.
And then we also draw 1 card, right?
Do we? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
What is
Just does nothing in and of itself, but it refers to any card that is affecting the enemy's threat or their attacks.
so?
So
what
your
does it
anticipate was
mean?
just a contain card. You see where it says anticipate and then yellow
Oh,
contain
yes,
hinder?
contain hinder. Got it. Okay.
Y'all good to continue on?
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to figure out how to use my class ability and attack on the same turn.
Did y'all all read this one to yourselves?
I read it to myself, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, my class ability is that support then heal like in 1 turn, or
That is as many times as you can pull that off. You'll have to support and then heal and then support and then heal. And if you flip it, you can prepare.
because I think
Sorry,
I
if you
did,
prepare,
I
you
think
can
I
flip.
did that already.
Yeah, so for this round, if you do that again, then you'll be able to trigger this active or this.
Did we just prepare?
No, that is a specific keyword as well.
Oh, okay.
We did what's called recovery.
I see that.
So explain to me again how this physician ability works.
Yeah, so if you play a support card, let's see. So if you had played this one right here and then heal. So do you see the where it says reprieve is purple and then support? So that support is its keyword. So you have to trigger the keyword first and then says, so do support and then heal. So the focus has a keyword of heal and prepare.
Right. So the last card, the first card I played was a support, and the second card I played was a heal. So did that do something?
I don't believe it was within the same round, was it?
No.
You did.
Does it need to be within the same round to trigger the ability?
Yes, it does. There are no carryover from round to round.
And then I can flip this card when I prepare. Is that
Yep,
just
so
like a cool thing I can do, or?
Yep, and just on the other side is, kind of the opposite. So if you heal and then support, you can give a card or grant a card.
Oh, okay. I see. I like the other
So
one.
when you played this focus, Evan, you could have flipped that if you wanted to.
Wait, I think I'm super confused.
It's okay.
I'm gonna
So
discard.
you see where focus says?
I have yet to play 2 cards in the same round.
No, I know, but the bottom part is a completely different section of an ability. You may flip this card when you prepare. That's just always true. So do you see the physician says you may flip this card when you prepare? So you play to prepare, which is focus. So when you played focus, you could have flipped physician if you wanted to.
Oh, when I prepare, that's a card type.
Yes.
Preparing is a card type, not a phase of a round.
Exactly. Yes. Recovery is the phase of the round.
Okay.
If it says -2 chits and I'm on the bag, can I still take it away?
Can you show me what you're referring to? I'm sorry.
So if I had this and I was on the bag, if I discarded this card, could I take it away?
No, because it would be what is generated for the attack or the whatever ability you're using.
Actually, no, you're right.
Does this let me search through my whole deck?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Well, I was able to trigger my bonus, but I can't. I've got no attack cards.
Oh, sorry. What are we working on here? We need to deal a total of 14. Is that starting from a new? Are we facing a new guy?
Nope.
So we should not be at 1. We should be at, what were we at, 7?
I did 1 damage to it. Oh, unless it already had damage?
It already had 7.
Then it's at 8.
Yeah, so y'all can either do 6 more damage and end the encounter, or if a trigger here is the bonus from their class card and attacks in the same round, y'all can flip that card.
Hold on, Evan. You said you did 7 damage, right?
No, that was how much we had done thus far.
Oh.
In this encounter. So
I've done everything I can because I'm out of cards at this point.
okay. How many attacks did you guys do? Did you guys each attack?
I did not attack. I didn't have any attack cards.
Oh, you didn't have any attack cards.
I attacked once. Just I attacked. This shouldn't be good. I attacked once.
Eric, when you played Clever Tactics, did you do something for Talon as well?
Wait, hold on. Wait. I played Clever Tactics.
Yeah, this one over here. His
Yeah,
ultimate.
Yeah.
Did you
what about it?
give him a benefit as well?
Did I give him what?
A benefit. 1 card, 1 block.
Oh.
1.
Oh no, I didn't.
So you could give him a card to remove this chip from sidestep.
Sure.
And he has plenty of stamina, right?
Yeah, he's got tons of stamina.
Then you could use sidestep to give you another card.
Oh, okay. I shall do that.
Eric, do you have a bunch of health back?
Yeah, I granted myself 4 health.
Oh, okay. Because you don't have any attacks. So,
Yeah, correct. But I'm about to get a card back, and I might be able to use it.
Okay, well, let me see.
I have more attacks, but I need 2 stamina.
Well, let me see what I can do.
1.
So nobody's down on health right now?
I'm down a tiny bit, but not that much. I'm down 2 health from max.
Lame. I'm gonna. Grant. You're doing an attack, right, Brian?
I haven't. Yeah, I'm doing an attack. I could do another if I had another stamina.
I am granting Brian Picarillo Rally.
Sweet. That seems good.
So you draw a card, you get a. Yeah, you can read it. You get a thing, and you're going to deal an extra damage.
Now I can play Roos and do another one.
It'll do 2 damage.
It'll do 2?
It does an extra.
Okay, so I do 3 total. So this is at 10 because I already put the 1 on there.
And
now I need to search through my deck though.
And then Fareth, obviously, is going to charge because that's what Fareth is all about.
If you run out of chips, can you not play cards that require chips until?
Nope. You can keep playing cards. You'll just be all in and probably be the target of many attacks.
Okay.
So he charges. He puts 2 chips in the bag. Or they'll go in a minute, I guess, instead of just what I did. And he does 2 damage, bringing it to 12. And he gets 3 blue pips. And what do we need to get him up to?
14.
And then he provoking strikes, bringing this down to 0. doing another 2 damage. And gaining a yellow pip. And adding another one of these tokens to the back. So we've reached 14.
So that's the end of the encounter. Then you could read the, if successful condition. I assume we're going to go ahead and pause here.
What's the successful condition?
Eric, did you do your thing and attack?
I didn't have an attack card.
Okay. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
You didn't do it.
I was able
did
to
not attack and use. I wanted his spear, but no one attacked and used the ability at the same time.
All right.
So I guess we just killed.
He's dead. We don't flip the card because we didn't
do the fancy thing.
Right.
So then you would just read here if success.
A well-fought battle. I think you're ready for the crucible now. Each hero becomes trained. All right, I'm gonna mark as trained.
Trained.
Marked.
Pajambo. Restore
health. Each player to full health and all right.
So then
go to map A.
All right, so that's kind of should give you guys a little feel for the overarching part of the game. Is there any other aspects you wanted to touch on before we pause?
No, I think I've got enough flavor of it.
Yeah, are we missing out on anything big?
To
check out?
No. I mean, more of the, more exploration, and obviously, if we had another 6 hours, we could dive in. But
Right.
I like the artwork and the maps.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad we're excited about that.
Because you've already paid for it.
I've already paid for it. Yes. Oh yeah.
I had no idea that AI could. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, you're good.
I was like, if that's AI, that's actually pretty nice.
Here's trained. This is not a finished artwork yet, but the idea is that you would all become. This is a condition, so it's kind of a one-time use card. Then it goes out of your deck.
Yeah.
For no cost. Okay.
All right.
So does this box have a bunch of things you can't get to right away, or can you open up all of them right away?
You're definitely encouraged not to look at cards. You definitely supposed to follow the storybook and rulebook as it instructs you.
And so if you just pick this up, you'd start at the beginning, and then if you play with 4 friends 5 stories from now, are they going to be confused that they missed the beginning ones, or should you be able to catch them up?
I mean, as best you could do a summary of any book or narrative. I mean, I think kind of depends if your friends were like, "Oh, I really want the story," or I just want to kill monsters.
Okay.
It's certainly our hope is that people are playing through this as a campaign.
Okay, got it.
Cool. Are we still going, or is it feedback time?
I think I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's do it. Go ahead. Who's ready? Brian, you want to go first, just in case you need to pass out?
Sure, I'll go first.
Okay.
You said this. Did you say this was 1 to 5 players?
Mm-hmm.
So do you just play it with yourself and your 2 companions when you start out?
4 companions. You always have 5.
So you just always fill. Okay, got it.
Always
so you're if you play as 1 person, you're really playing still as 5 people.
Yes. You're just not playing 5 decks.
Okay. 1. Yeah, got it. Okay, so my feedback was overall, I enjoyed it. I have not played a long campaign like game like this other than D&D. I like that aspect of it. I think it was very cohesive in the sense that I think the art styles are very cohesive, matching everything. Uh, the play style was, I felt like the storybook here, maybe it's because I haven't like read through all of it, but I felt like this storybook was very much like laid out very like great. It just seemed to me like I was going through a D&D manual. It's kind of like the vibe that I got, but I didn't really get a sense of like how to play from it. I just got a sense of sorry, I wrote it down. I feel like it would have been the blind leading the blind, led by a storybook. And the storybook, while great at showing us where to go next, didn't really seem to do a good job of showing us how to get there. So I feel like there are some key points where I was like read the story, then I was like, okay, and then I didn't really catch the connect on how to do the next thing.
Okay.
So maybe you have a good use of symbology here and probably an appendix somewhere. So maybe if there was, a symbol for go to hero phase somewhere, I think that would be helpful.
Okay, so are you talking about hero phase like during the encounter?
Like before we let's say we're on this page 1.3, then we fought the guard, it tells you to take out the card. And then it's like, okay, I assume I read the card and then I do the thing. But
Sure.
if at any point I'm playing and I don't make an assumption, I might get lost.
Okay,
And
fair.
that's the part that I'm trying to like make sure that it's assumption proof, because people
Sure.
are very
Can
silly.
I hop
Yeah,
in with
go
a
ahead.
question on the point you're making? I'm assuming that there's a rule book that we haven't seen and that the storybook is its own separate text. Is that true? Like there's a rule book?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There's a
Then you can
22 page,
disregard some of that.
23 page rule book that I'm mostly finished with.
Okay. Well, that you can take everything I said with a grain of salt then.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
so-
I want to I do want the beginning of the storybook to do a little bit of so my hope is that one person reads it, because I'm always that guy in my group. And then the rest of it is like, cool, now let's create our character, let's get our first items, and then let's do a guard tutorial, which kind of handholds you through the first. But I think my hope in what you're saying, my hope is where it says like specifically begin Ildor guard tutorial or encounter. My hope is that being bolded is enough. We have that listed in the rulebook as like, this is how you start an encounter, but I can certainly keep an eye on that.
Okay, yeah, maybe if there's like, I see that you have like end exploration and go to map A, and I know that the maps are all in a thing. I don't know if I ever saw like go to the rule book at page 3 in there.
Yeah, so actually it's
Is that in there?
it is, yeah. So let's go right here. If this is your first encounter, we recommend referencing the combat rules and guidelines section in the rulebook. If you're playing with companions, we also recommend referencing the companion combat section in the rulebook.
Okay, so I'm gonna chalk that up to my lack of not reading things.
And to be fair, this isn't a normal teach because I'm not normally here, and I was trying to like stream y'all in, but I hear what you're saying. I think it's always good. Any rub that feels like I don't know what to do, that's an experience I don't want my players feeling.
My next biggest thing was the cards that we were encountering, the guards 1A through 1C, were flipping when things were triggered, but yet the round didn't switch to not be the hero's round. I would have loved for somewhere on that card to have a symbol that's like, okay, refresh everything, regenerate all your stuff back. You are now in like the mode where you're going to take damage, and then another symbol that says, okay, you're going to go back to the hero's one. So like two symbols, one that's like hero turn, one that's like some other turn, because when Eric was taking shots from the guard during the hero phase, but the guard wasn't attacking that one time, that seemed confusing to me. I think that's how it played out. He was like taking 3 shots of 7, but it wasn't the point at which he was.
I think that might have been a miscommunication because that was during the enemy phase. But you're saying, so just to clarify, are you saying that you want anytime there's a flip that be a reset, or if it's a reset that's more clear?
If it flipped and that changed the mode, that would be the clearest, I think. But then if that's not the case and you like switch modes within one face of a card, have there be a symbol that says, okay, like you're switching phases. I
Okay.
think that's my biggest feedback there.
Yeah.
That's a minor thing, but then I had a card called Ruse that let me look through the whole deck. And as a beginner, that might take a bit of time to
Sure.
chunk out. So maybe if like that's a good card, but let me get access to it like in a later part of the campaign, I think that would be easier because I know what's in my deck already at that point. And then that hand thing at the beginning was a little confusing. I'm sure it's explained in the rules. Like if I can have one thing, 2 one-handed weapons or whatnot. That just confused me at first, but it makes sense now. I really liked the chip coming out of the bag thing to choose who it's going to go after, and the amount of times you do something bad to it, it chooses that person more often. I may incorporate that into my own. I gotta see how that works out. That seemed cool. I might need to play Clink, I guess, to get a better experience with it, or I could just play this again. But overall, I had a good time, and I would definitely play it. I think I'd play it with like 2 people minimum, because I feel like even though it could be played one person, and that's great, I don't know if I would have the mental capacity to do. I play enough 7-player games of Fame and Fortune by myself, and I can't do it all the time. So me playing as
That's
like one
nuts.
deck and 5-person would be a lot. Because
Yeah,
like
it gets
my
very
experience
heavy.
is I just played this as me, and Eric and Evan played it as 2 people. So I want to hear definitely like what the difference was, because I couldn't do it, but I feel like I was just there. And if I had to do anything else, that would have been like too much. Yeah, that's my feedback.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Overall, I really rather enjoyed it. The closest game that I've played that I would compare this to would be, Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. It kind of gave me this similar emotional kind of feel as that, although it's its own separate game completely.
Sure.
I'm trying to think. I didn't really write down a whole lot of comments while we were playing. I mean, everything kind of was clicking for me. I guess a couple of. Is this kind of what you're planning? Is everything that we're playing with here the plan? And I like one of the things that, and I felt stupid for not recognizing this earlier, but having the dice right here as the tracker for, a shield and health. It confused
that
me
is
for some
tabletop
reason.
simulator. No, that is tabletop simulator.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So
we have Evan. If I send you an image, can you throw that up somewhere, or what's the best way for me to do that? I can just
you can share it in Zoom.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
You could probably like upload an asset with that picture also.
Yeah, you could do that too.
yeah, no, that's fine. I assumed it was something along that nature, that we're just doing a temporary sort of thing, but I was the comment I was gonna say is having a different tracker for my main character and then using a different tracker for the other ones was just a minor kind of UI disconnect on my end, and then I started realizing it. One other sort of minor issue that I dealt with is because my character had this simple wooden bow, which lets me gain 2 of energy, or whatever you call that, whenever I do container support, and then 3 of my powers are container support. I felt like the mechanic of I can only take one of these off per round uh, I was basically by the next round, it was going to be I can only do one of these per round. I was gaining too much energy on this character in order to spend all of it because the other mechanic is I only get to clear one of these tasks. Which I think if we had played a longer game would have made the hero character, it would have emotionally felt frustrating. Slash, oh, this is useless. I'm gaining all this energy over here, but I can't do anything with it. So
And some
that's
of that is I didn't do
my.
I didn't do a great job
Go ahead.
explaining how companions work because I know we were kind of just like, let's go for it. Companions work with card draw. So yellow, Brian had some, maybe he did, maybe he didn't, but he does have cards that allow him to grant cards. And when you grant a card to a companion, they just pull a token, a ability off of that.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
that makes more sense. Yeah, I think you had mentioned that during the play test, and I wasn't exactly following along. Mainly because it wasn't some sort of it wasn't intuitive. Like, oh, I grant you a card drop, so now I get to free up a space on basically kind of a worker placement space, as opposed to. And I realize maybe from a UI perspective, if bolster sidestep and anticipate where there are three separate cards, that might make more sense. But maybe some iconography here would help connect that in the brain quicker.
Yeah.
But
here's
gosh, I don't have a.
Here's this.
Yeah. Are there any?
This is the hub we're using.
Are there any? Okay.
So this is a dial we're using for health, and then block, armor, armor block, and then this is your focus. Sorry, these dials are not covered up. So this is actually going to be for every single, this is interchangeable between heroes and adventurers and companions.
Cool.
And then we have a player board that is like kind of slots in for, so you can see these cards go right there.
Yeah.
And then there's a player board that slots in as well for adventurers.
Yeah. Are there any more specific questions that you had for us as far as things you're looking for or feedback you're looking for?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, my goal is to have the on-ramp be as gentle as possible. And it's
a lot. I mean,
yeah, I get that.
But I mean, this is one of those games where your first game is going to be kind of the introduction / baby game that we just played.
Right.
And then next round, things are going to click a little bit faster. And then, it's the same thing as, Gloomhaven. By the time you're playing your third session, that's when you're really starting to feel like you're getting into the groove of it. And I don't know if there's any fix for that. I mean, outside of having, spending tens of thousands of dollars on an absolutely amazing production video that people can watch instead of read the rule book. I don't know.
I have thought about giving items after the guard tutorial, just to clean that bit up a bit. So we may tinker with that. The problem is, part of it is just like we want to make it as open as possible, and so there's like putting it on Rails, maybe just that tutorial.
Yeah.
But that way they're not worried about, oh, well, I've also got these 3 items. I don't know what keywords do. Like, we're just trying to wrestle with that.
Yeah. Something that just came to me before Evan goes is on this map, I would have loved to have had the name of the place underneath the number so I knew where I was going. Because it was like, pick a number to go to. And I was like, oh, I'll go to 4 because it looks like a circus. And then I was disappointed that it wasn't a circus. And if I knew where the guard tower was, I would have probably gone there first. And I just, instead of assuming it was 1.
Yeah. Okay.
One other minor kind of suggestion when we were selecting our character class, red, blue, red, green, red, purple, I think it would be helpful. Oh, wait, you do have it here. Warriors, seers, commanders, challengers, wardens. Okay. Yeah. Never mind. I just missed it.
Okay. Yeah, Brian, I'll keep that in mind. That's
Maybe is there any? I'm trying to think. Like, there was one point where I was confused as to what the colors were, and you had said you've been trying to go for the color scheme in the card. It
yes.
wasn't readily apparent.
Okay, you're
So
saying
maybe I don't.
your warden didn't
Okay,
look green blue to you?
I see. Well, I see now where I can look. It's the border. The border is green blue
Yeah, and then it
right
also
here.
says blue green on it. We don't have it on companions though. That's something you probably need to do.
Okay. 8 blue, 8 green. Yeah, that could just be an issue of first time playthrough where it just wasn't triggering as fast. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot of comments for you. Maybe I'll listen to Evan and I'll get some ideas based on what he's saying. Go ahead, Evan.
Okay. Go fingers. Yeah, so the the experience we had is different than what the average person who's going to open the box and play is going to be, right? They're going to read the rule book first. Is that true? Or do you want them to be able to learn it from this intro scenario?
No, I want at least one person to read the rule book for sure.
Okay. So in our experience, I'll assume that was you.
Sure.
And it was still pretty darn tough. I suspect part of that was because you were leaving us to hang a little bit to see if we could figure it the heck out.
Right.
Kind of doing a dash of blind playtesting in this to see what we did figure out on our own without guiding us through the whole thing. So I suspect that led to some of that.
Sure.
But either way, it's a pretty tough onboard. It's a pretty tough onboard for a pretty straightforward system. So I do think it's very get thereable. But I just think there's some like UI graphics interface stuff that is required to get it there. The systems themselves are not very onerous. Like they're actually, pretty straightforward.
Anything specific that threw you that you would want us to target with graphic design or tweaks? Or
I mean, you just need a lot more hand holding. Like tell us, hey, now you're gonna read that card and do what the card says.
Okay. Yeah,
hey,
fair.
This thing that you're checking right now that you have no idea what it means or where it is or whether it is or isn't a thing. Like you have to like set all that up ahead of time. And if there is a learning, like if there is a learning thing, like just go ahead and let it be on rails rather than if this then this, if this then this, if this then this, then it all kind of circles back to the guardhouse anyway. Just like make us go to the guardhouse. So we don't have to go through the list of like, oh nope, not that, oh nope, not that, oh nope, not that. Like just go ahead and bring us to the guardhouse.
Okay,
it skips the flowchart that all ends at the guardhouse anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's tough because it doesn't.
Okay.
There are 3 different encounters you could have had.
Okay.
And there's the arena is the only thing that's cut off right now. So I think any of the other locations had you gone to would have been some sort of choose your own adventure narrative. But I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
I think I might do that anyway.
Play it out for us.
Right, and I mean it's going to be played out for 30% of my players.
Right.
So I think.
Well, the funny thing is the arena is the most attractive thing to go to on the map.
It is, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's the most distinct for sure. I think to your point, Evan, the other fights are much, much harder. And so I think there's a part of me that's like Dark Souls, like you picked wrong and you're going to die and you're going to try again. But there are certain, I don't know, 20 to 50% of the population that are going to play this game that are going to be like, well, I'm playing it mostly for the story, for the cooperation. That felt discouraging. Maybe we'll get it back out again. Maybe we won't. And that's certainly not the experience that I want.
I 100% agree with the second thing you said.
Yeah.
The first thing makes it more and more niche, for kind of no benefit. You know, like giving somebody the chance of dying horribly their very first play isn't like
Sure.
an intriguing, awesome, ooh, maybe this game will kill us horribly in the first play. I mean,
Sure.
like, there are some people, but
Yeah.
it's not a huge
Yeah,
group.
I might, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, I am so afraid of on rails because it feels so bad to me. But
I just mean to start.
no, I agree. I agree.
Like
I'm
later on, if I make a bad choice and it takes me down a wrong path, that's totally fine. But like, let
Sure.
me learn the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you have like 3 combats within this first like setup, like map area, like where you're learning the game, if those are all of equal difficulty, I don't really think you have a problem.
Yeah, they are.
That's, yeah.
The guard tutorial is like, I mean, you guys, nobody went below. I mean, one person went below 10 health. So, but yeah, I agree, and I think
I
that's
guess like what if you're gonna make us do the guard station first to get us used to it and not have us die right away, then I think that it's okay, that it's easier. But I think if you want us to be able to not be railroaded and do any of those 12 things, and that ends in 2 other possible encounters, I would make those encounters as easy as the guard one.
sure, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Do you have a player aid card that just isn't on TTS?
I do, yeah.
Okay, just check.
Yeah. The other thing. Let's see, where was I? Oh yeah, the journal. Just not having a journal in front of me because we hadn't gained it yet, but we had to reference it.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
like referencing a thing that we haven't yet been given is very like time doesn't exist, and we're like we're Back
Sure.
to the Future, you know.
I
So
get it.
don't reference a thing that we have not been introduced to.
Fair.
Let's see. Got it. Stamina is not different colors. Stamina is just one color.
Mhm.
It's just purple.
You want it to be that way on all cards?
Oh, that's why I wrote that down. Yes. If you have an icon, make it the icon. Don't change it on me.
Yeah,
Let me learn the system.
yeah, I hear you on that. I think I disagree, but we've play tested it a lot, and as soon as people learn it, then I think it's worth the aesthetics for the 30 hours. But I hear what you're saying.
Okay.
Where was the icon different? I'm confused.
If you look at the cards,
Mhm.
then the stamina icon is not just purple. It's in fact other
Yellow,
colors.
blue, red.
Oh,
I think it's because it's just a circle. Like there's no symbol with stamina either. If you had it like a symbol and then the background color changed, I don't think it would bother me. But I agree with Evan only because there was no like symbol. It was just a color behind a number on
Mhm.
a space on the card. That's what like MTG at least there's 5 different symbols and 5 different colors. This one
Mhm.
just has five different colors. But if you're colorblind, it doesn't really matter anyway. They're all like relatively the same.
Sure.
It's true. This is the one colorblind. Actually, that's fine.
Fair. True.
Actually, that's fine. It makes it easier.
Yeah, and that's something. I mean, I'm certainly willing to throw out there in getting feedback on. As I've looked at it now for so long that when I've tried that, I'm like, oh god, it's so horrible. But I mean, I've looked at it for 4 years, so
yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where like you definitely have to be cautious with, if you're not putting this in front of new people very often and it's like the same playtest groups over and over and over again, their tolerance for information disorientation is much higher because they're so used to the systems.
yeah. Yeah, we're doing a new round of blind play testing this month, so we'll see if we get any of that. Yeah.
The order of operations and like what the heck, like how the heck do we play was really tough for me to get, and I'm not fully representative of all human brains, because I'm definitely on some kind of spectrum somewhere. But if like if we're following a card or we're reading a card, and then the card doesn't tell us what to do, then I'll go, so are we following the card or are we now looking at something different?
So you think even just a line at the bottom or an icon like Brian mentioned of if you don't do this, repeat.
Yeah, it's basically like, where am I getting my directions from to know what to do next?
Mm-hmm.
If I have to know that I've reached some ending point on the card and then go reference like the turn order card for the next thing, like I won't know when to do this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just sit there and be like, I read the card. We didn't do the thing that the card said yet. So now what happens?
Mm-hmm.
And we came to that grinding halt.
Sure.
Like just about every single card. We
Yeah.
we read the card, we did what we figured out that we could do, and then we sat around and we were like, wait, are you? No. Should I? Wait, where are we?
Yeah.
Who are you? And then you stepped in finally, and said, okay, so now it's a new round. And we're like, oh wait, now it's a new round? But last time it wasn't. So you need to hold our hand like a lot more.
Yeah.
With these, in my opinion, from my
No,
brain.
I think that's fair.
Because like figure if you left it up to us when a new round starts or doesn't start, we would have been completely wrong all the time.
Yeah, fair.
Like wait, we changed cards. Does that mean what does that mean? Do we do something? Do I gain stamina? I don't know.
Yeah.
So I bet you probably have a player card that helps with that. But in this experience, it was really difficult.
Yeah, it's good.
Managing the other allies. Again, for a first play, I'm trying to learn this game. Right? Most people who learn these games to play with other people are going to try to run a little bit of solo something ahead of time, I think, on average. And if I have to learn it running my character plus 4 other buddies, I think that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's a lot. It might be worth coming up with a single character test battle.
You mean just as a tutorial?
Just as a tutorial. It's just
maybe
just the one character. You run a test battle. You see how things works, and then when your buddies come over,
mm-hmm.
You're a little bit more prepared. Because if you just read a rule book, the level of preparedness is much lower than if you've actually like moved some cards around and added some damage marker.
Yeah.
But like running 5 guys as your very first experience into this, for me, I probably wouldn't make it through it, and it probably would never come back out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I can touch on that a little bit. Like from my perspective, not having a companion, I definitely didn't know where some of my buffs were coming from other people, and I'm guessing it was from them some of the times. But I pretty much play without a companion. I was like, we got this. Like I think Evan and I could have done it with Eric's help without those 2 guys. If I might be wrong because they helped a little bit, but I didn't notice because I didn't have one that was doing it. Yeah, you're welcome. So I think the 3 of us could have handled it without them if the good encounter was a little easier. I think
could be. I wasn't gonna say it because I think it's just play preference, at least for me. But
sure.
I hate running extra players. I would way rather have the thing scale based on player count or something than have to run these extra little buddies. But that's me as a player. I know some other players won't care.
Yeah, our inspiration was mostly actually from Oathsworn. If you're familiar with Oathsworn.
I've seen the box cover. It looks nice.
Nice.
But yeah, that
Yeah,
is my player preferences. I don't want to have to run anything else. But I think at least for like the person who bought the game, who's excited to teach his buddies who's coming over, who just needs to learn how to do the basic mechanisms of the game, give him a one character thing to like figure it out. I think. Have buddies. I am very, very glad to hear you say that your buddies, your NPCs are using the same exact tracking systems as the heroes, because that was going to be a large topic of mine.
That was some fun work with my graphic designer. Was like, how do we make this work?
Yeah, good. Yeah. The fact that it works the same is exactly what I wanted you to do. So,
I'm sure that didn't help.
No, that will help a lot. Because the actual combat, is pretty straightforward, but our experience of it, based on what is in front of us, was very convoluted and herky jerky.
Sure, absolutely.
And this one's another preference. So, agree with it, disagree with it at your leisure. Referencing tons of terminology. For me, as a person with the brain that I have, and dyslexia and all these things, referencing a ton of terminology is a huge brain load for me. And iconography is way, 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 way better for my brain. I know different people have different opinions on iconography versus flavor terms.
No, I mean, I agree. I'm a huge iconography guy. Can you think of any examples?
Yeah, there was one thing here that, like, prepare.
Oh, like our keywords.
Keywords, okay. Yeah.
Because
you're kind of keywords.
Okay.
I think keywords, for me, trying to understand this huge bath of information, keywords slow me down like 200% more than icons. Just as far as like total information to parse.
Yeah, that's good information. Good opinion.
Because when I see a keyword prepare, I go, okay, sounds like a phase. That's a phase. And then it's like, well, no, actually, that's a card type. Right? But if it's an icon, I go, oh, I'm referencing an icon somewhere. Where else is that icon? Oh, it's right there. That card is that icon. When I play that card, it's going to trigger this thing.
Yeah.
I don't care what it's called. I don't have to memorize a whole lexicon, right, to interact with the system. See symbol, do symbol. It's way, way for somebody with my interaction with language, right? Yeah. But again, not everybody is dyslexic. Not everybody has difficulty parsing more language versus icons. And some people hate icons. So, whatever. Personal preference, do what you will. Yeah, that's my preference.
I hear that. I receive that.
We already talked about that. We already talked about that. We already talked about that. We already talked about that. Colors on the companions, yeah, definitely call it out. Just if it's relevant, put it on there. Trusting people to be able to pick up color based on the art is not what I would recommend.
No, sure, I agree, and that would, that's we've finalized or gotten close on our companions system. Cool. That was a recent, a recent change. So
I love that it's incorporated in the art, but you just can't rely on it.
Yeah, totally, I agree.
the font you have chosen, or technically, I guess the typeface you have chosen, because font is sizes and anyway, whatever. I heard you say Ildor, which suggests that that first letter is an I,
Yes.
which is
Yes, it
not
is.
at all what it looks like.
Sure, because it looks like a double L for you.
It looks like a double L.
Mm. Yeah,
Uldor.
because sure.
So you might want to choose a
Yeah,
font that is going to separate that out more, obviously.
Sure.
I thought it
Or
was Yedor.
Tweak my
people
eyes.
are going to say Uldor.
Lador.
Uldor.
Yeah.
As I did.
That's good. That's really good feedback, Evan. Appreciate that. Not heard that one.
Now this one I've given to you on a Facebook group before, and you obviously didn't do it, so I'll say it again, but obviously I don't expect you to necessarily do it. But
Yeah.
but I think the way you have your one-handed versus two-handed system is just a little complex to understand. Even though it
Okay.
shouldn't be,
Yeah.
even though it really shouldn't be, we still had trouble with it. Not a ton, but enough.
Yeah.
Enough where it's not quite as straightforward as it should be. And I think it has to do with your one forward, one backward thing. Because when there's just one fist, it can go in the forward or the backward slot.
Yep.
And then there's a two-hand thing that takes up both of them.
Yep.
And
I don't know if you could do this, but if the two-handed ones were just like too wide, then it would fill the slot, and that the other one can't then fill. That would be.
I've thought about doing them horizontal, Brian. I wouldn't love to have different cards for different items, but I hear you. I mean, do you think even just having both forward facing is enough, Evan?
I need the card to have the same icon as the slot that I can put it in.
Okay. So yeah, they just need to both face forward, right?
Yeah, essentially. If it can go there, it needs to look like it can go there. And that also means that I think you can graphically manage two-handed items a different way. Whether it bridges the gap or is turned horizontal or whatever. Or is a double wide card, whatever the thing is.
Yeah.
Like a game that I'm working on, we have the one hand and the other hand, and then there's like a little thing in between that has the two-hand symbol. That's like this bridges the gap between the two. So whatever graphic design works for that, but right now it's just not quite. It's not quite right.
Yeah,
it's just a little too hard to parse because I look at the symbol on my card and it does not match where I can put it.
Okay.
I have to extrapolate and make assumptions. And when you're dealing with brains like mine, not a good plan.
Yeah. Wonder if
my assumption's always going to be wrong.
Let me just send this to you guys real quick. And where's chat? Here we go. Can I do that? Oh, I can. Oh, nice. Okay, so this is actually our new player board. If you want to just briefly look at that, let me know if that helps or if you still no, there's still a problem.
Sussenbach. Sorry, I'm just reading the name. Okay.
You're good.
I think it's still loading or something. I think maybe I have to download it.
I think it's okay. I would say my one comment on it, the only part that confused me in the game was how there's not enough differentiation on my stone spear. I think I misused it at one point. I think I accidentally used the two-handed power, not realizing I wasn't supposed to. because all of the text is kind of smushed together. There's no differentiation between the top and the bottom.
Okay.
So I don't
A
know.
line or
Maybe if
something.
you could have one-handed power up here, two-handed power down here, and then the spear in the middle. That might be one way to make that very clear. Or I mean, there's many different ways you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're doing here.
See that.
I think that's a little better, yeah. Oh my goodness. I opened that thing like 14 times. It just took so long to come up, I kept clicking it. Okay, great.
I think it's really big. My bad.
That's like, why is
You
it
zoom
so
all the way in.
Okay, cool. There we go. There we go. There's the last time that it's opened up. And you just filled up my OneDrive. Okay, great. Got it. Where am I? There we go. I finally deleted them all. But that'll help a little bit. But it's still the icon. If I can only put it in a certain slot, make the icon match.
Yeah. Okay.
Is a definitely a thing. The map.
You said the map.
Yeah, the map.
Okay.
I don't feel strongly about this,
Okay.
but I would love to have a legend in the upper left-hand corner that says number 1 is this, number 2 is this, number 3 is this.
Similar to what Brian was saying, that they would have.
Yeah. But I'd rather have it a legend up in the top than like over your
The details.
over
The
it.
legend is a much better idea.
No, that's good. I like that.
But I do want it, related to the thing, just so I can be like, oh, there's the guardhouse. That's where the person told us to go. Let's go there. Turns out it's number 1.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Or in the story, again, kind of railing us a little bit more, you can say, instead of just saying, you should go to the guardhouse. Or maybe it is in there and I didn't notice, but you should say, go to the guardhouse. Number 1. Is it in there?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Okay.
I would, but I think I like the legend idea a little bit better. Just to try to, but yeah, no, I think that's good.
But yeah, so it doesn't have to be a legend. You could do it in the story side and just tell us what number the thing is that you're telling us about.
Sure.
Or you could have a legend. Or you could do both. I recommend both, but if you only want to do one, that's okay too.
Cool.
Double fail-safe system. What else? I definitely have not yet understood the relationship between the yellow shield and the blue armor on your board.
Okay.
Because only one of us has taken damage so far, and so I haven't had to understand it.
Yeah.
But hopefully it's not overly complex. I don't know.
I think it's pretty straightforward. I've honestly really wrestled with block, armor, target. We used a little literal targets icon for a while. I've because in some games a shield is armor, and so I think just really trying to figure out like what the best thing is. This is the best thing we've come to so far, but that doesn't mean it's the best thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the shield here is not armor, it's protecting another person. You're taking the hit.
Yes.
You spend 1 to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because it took me a long time to figure out what ability Eric was using to be taking the hit. And I was like, oh, it's just, we can all do that.
If you have any block, absolutely.
You spend a shield and then you block. Instead of whoever the person was going to attack, which I actually really like that as a system. It's not intuitive as it sits on the board. That it does that.
Right. I get that.
And then the body armor, how does that work? The blue.
Yeah, just a 1-to-1 reduction of damage.
And what happens to that cube when it reduces damage?
Nothing.
So it's just it's at whatever level it's at, and it reduces that much damage every time you take damage
For the round, yes.
for the round. And what happens at the end of the round?
Then it goes back to 0.
At the end of the round, both of those things go to 0.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
In chat, I put a suggestion for another icon you could use similar to the shield, but to better clarify that it's to deflect and not to shield.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, like a redirect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something along those lines. It doesn't have to be something that exactly, but
Yeah, I was like, what's the perfect icon that shows like stepping in front, you know,
Right.
a diving person in front of a gun?
Yeah, typically when I explain it, I'm like literally like you're putting your shield in
Yeah.
front of somebody or your
Yeah,
body
yeah.
in front of somebody.
yeah.
But I mean, when I'm introducing it to new players, that synergy or that, mechanic is always a little bit like, huh? And then, oh, they get it once they get it.
Yeah. In your player aid turn order stuff, is the fact that the blue and the yellow powers drop back down to 0 at the end of every round, is that very clearly called out?
Yes, and it's called out on themselves. So that little icon, the
Yeah.
white icon on top of them, that is
says pull it back
and
up.
that is actually the icon for the recovery phase.
Okay. Because that's one of those things where, like, just as a gamer with wide gaming experience, I do not expect to lose abilities mid-combat.
Mhm.
So if that is the way that works, it just needs to be, like, very, like, hey, don't
Sure.
forget, drop these back down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Whereas I'm not losing essence, stamina. There we go.
Yep. Or health, yeah, for sure. Or your focus
Right.
isn't
So
going down.
it works different, and it's different than a player would expect.
Sure.
So you have to be very intentional about how you're calling it out graphically and visually and all those things.
Yep.
Okay, but now I think I actually understand how that works. And it's not that complex. It just has to be very in your face with exactly what's happening. Cool. That's what I've got. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think your art is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for you as far as like marketing and sales. I think you really hit on like a really cool, like just kind of the way it's all going to set up. And assuming the story is mildly compelling,
I hope so.
I think it'll do well.
Yeah.
Because most of these games, like, as long as the story's fine,
Right.
it's fine.
Yeah.
Like if the story sucks, then it's kind of a death knell for the game. If the
Sure.
story's amazing, that's great.
It's a bonus, sure.
But it just has to be at least serviceable. So have 80 gajillion friends double check it and look at it and make sure that you didn't like miss something dumb.
Absolutely. I didn't write it, if that helps anything. I have two, I guess now they're professional writers because I paid them.
You paid them, yeah. Cool.
They all died in the end.
And you
it's all a dream, actually.
Yeah, and you had them check each other's work and all that stuff to make sure that all the plot lines do what they're supposed to do. And
yeah, I mean that's the big thing. I have an editor who is separate from them, and he is kind of my right hand, and like, but blind playtesting is going to have to check a lot of that too. So
cool. Yeah, usually the only real big issues are when one person is doing it and they also are the designer and they also are the illustrator and they all
I don't got time for that. I got a full-time job.
Yeah. Okay, good. It sounds like you've got it. It sounds like you got it pretty well covered.
It's fair though.
Yeah, that's what I'll say. I think the art is gonna do you very, very, very well. And then you've got,
I agree.
yeah, it's very compelling, I think. So good art direction / good artist.
All 10 of them.
And let's see what else. You're gonna streamline what the people look like, so that'll take away most of that confusion. And then you've just got a nice little, class mashup deck builder to play through the journey, and I think that'll be really fun, man.
Cool. I appreciate that. And I will say, this encounter system that we're working on, I understand that it feels a bit janky right now. This is the most recent, like, hey, let's do this new thing. Basically, we met with Jeremy Howard from Man vs. Meeple.
Yeah.
And he was like, I love the game. Your encounter system is kind of boring. And so we're like, well, we got to change that. So, because it was just all static. It was there, you would see it. And then you basically, what would happen is everybody would sit there for 15 minutes to be like, all right, what's the puzzle here? Let's do this. Right. Wait, if you do that, then you do that. And then they would just like try to put their engine into play. Yeah. And it was fine. It was like the heady people really liked it. Right. But the narrative people were like, it's an hour of puzzle. Right. And so the goal was to make our encounters much more narrative and dynamic, and things happen, and you can jump on the guy and you can do this thing, and you can, oh, now there's this thing here. This person shows up, and what does that mean? And so that's our goal.
Cool. I think that's.
But I know there's some jank there because we're still trying to figure out like how do we communicate. I've tried it where like you always have an objective on the card, and then you only flip it at the end of the round. Yeah, and then it makes pretty limited in what you can do, because somebody like for the guard encounter, it's like, oh, we already did those 2 things in 1 round. It's like, cool, I don't want to wait 2 rounds to get to a new objective. So but I agree. I think, Brian, your point of either some icons or even just a line of like, if you don't repeat, like would be a help to always know like, well, what do we do? Oh, it's this. Yeah. I do find that you're right, Evan, like that moment of like that always happens for the first like 2-3 rounds. I will say, I think it's exacerbated on TTS because you're not reading body language.
Probably true, yeah.
But eventually it's cool because it clicks and everybody's like, doom, doom, doom. And then usually one person at the table is charged like, hey, we all done? All right, cool, let's go. Mm-hmm. So, but I think y'all gave some really great feedback, and I'm hoping to actually make the cards a little bit more legible with bigger font, bigger icons.
Cool.
I hate making the art smaller, but I feel like I kind of have to, just a tiny bit. So, but I really appreciate y'all's time. Thank you for staying up late on a Thursday night.
Cool. Yeah. Does anybody have any other last minute feedback / comments that came up?
Does it have to be about Sundering? I don't like. No, I'm just kidding.
I miss a good Sundering on Sundays. Cool. Well, let's
nice job.
Say good night and get out of here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian, how can people find and support what you're working on?
Everyone can go to emberleafgames.com, and from there it'll direct you to our Kickstarter. You can also scan this QR code if that works over YouTube. We'll see. But the website emberleafgames.com will definitely work. Or you can find our Kickstarter at Fame and Fortune with an ampersand symbol. It's coming out in August.
Yay. Eric, how can people find and support what you're working on?
Oh, I stay hidden. They can't. No, you can find me on Facebook is probably the easiest place you can find me. Sacramento Board Game Designers. We've got a public group on Facebook if you'd like to join that. Chat with me. Otherwise, if anybody out there is going to Gen Con, I think you are, Evan. I will be there. Not? What?
Probably not. I know.
Unacceptable.
It's going to be a discussion with my wife.
All right, fair enough.
Eric, I'll be there, and I'll be playtesting.
Okay, yeah, I'll be playtesting at First Exposure Playtest Hall by latest game, Pop NATO, which was just a finalist for the Lucy Award last weekend. And I got a I didn't win, but I got a subcategory award for best design and mechanic coherence, which is going on the sell sheet. So I'll take it.
Heck yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Well, if I do end up coming to Gen Con, which I hope to, but I'm guessing probably not, but if I do, I definitely want to hook up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Kyle,
And
sounds like
Kyle?
you're gonna be there too. We could
Yeah, I'll
do a
see you
whole
there.
thing.
I will also be there.
It's
Oh,
gonna be
nice.
there.
Brian, too.
We could get the band back
Oh.
together.
You can do a live session of Playtest This from Gen
Oh,
Con.
that sounds so tech heavy for me. Like,
Just the
ooh,
noise.
yeah, I would have to learn
just
a whole new thing.
on the
I wouldn't even know
hotel's
how to do it.
internet connection.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't even know how to do it. Kyle, how can people find and support what you're working on, which may or may not be Echoes of the Sundering?
It is. That's the primary thing. If you're interested in TikTok/ on microgame, you can message me or go to TikTok/.com. But echoesofthesundering.com as well. And then we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram actually as the Wilder Forge, WILDER Forge. That's where you can see kind of all of our art and such. But then we're on Discord as well. And you can, message me directly at Kyle Sussenbach on Facebook. So
cool. And I'm Evan Halbert. You can find me on Facebook too, and you can go buy several more copies of After the Empire, because by now, obviously, you must have purchased a bunch. So one or two
used it
more
up, man. It's
on
all
its
worn
way.
through.
Yeah, exactly. You're shuffling those cards. You want them to look pretty. You need a whole new copy.
Sure.
You don't need sleeves. Just buy a new copy. It's fine. Cool. Awesome. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully,
Thank you, Evan. Thanks for hosting me.
Some of what we said will be helpful for you.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, everybody. Thanks for showing up. It's good to see y'all.
Yeah, nice to meet you guys.
Have a wonderful evening. We are out of here.